Good morning, everybody. Hope you're keeping well and everything's going okay with you. Just a reminder, we are having our midweek this evening, our postponed conversation with Steve Burton, hopefully later on this evening, 7:30. The link for that is in the newsletter, or if you don't have that, please get in touch with me and I will send that to you. Also a reminder, Saturday morning from 10 till 12, we are collecting for Storehouse, North Down, at the church. So if you have any items for that, please do bring them down from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock this Saturday morning, and we will get them to Storehouse. Also to remind you of our Holy Week prayer times with 3 other congregations, Conlig, Lisnabreen and St Andrews. And again, I've made available the link for that, and it will be coming out in the newsletter when it comes out by email later on this week as well. So we would love you to join with us Monday to Thursday of Holy Week, 7:30, for those prayer times. And also a reminder that we will be back to in-person worship on the Easter weekend. And details of that are in the newsletter and also in the letters that elders are circulating at the moment. So lots going on as we prepare for Easter and as we prepare for coming back to in-person worship. And I hope that some of you at least are able to join us as we do that over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to read from Mark 14 and verses 53 to 65. They led Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes came together. And Peter had followed him at a distance right into the courtyard of the high priest, and he was sitting with the guards and warming himself at the fire. Now the chief priests and the whole council were seeking testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they found none. For many bore false witness against him, but their testimony did not agree. And some stood up and bore false witness against him, saying, "We heard him say, 'I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and in 3 days I will build another not made with hands.' Yet even about this, their testimony did not agree. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Jesus, 'Have you no answer to make? What is it that these men testify against you?' But he remained silent and made no answer. Again, the high priest asked him, 'Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed?' And Jesus said, 'I am. And you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven.' And the high priest tore his garments and said, 'What further witnesses do we need? You've heard his blasphemy. What is your decision?' And they all condemned him as deserving death. And some began to spit on him and to cover his face and to strike him, saying to him, 'Prophesy.' And the guards received him with blows." If you've ever seen the movie A Few Good Men, with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, you'll know that there's a scene in the movie towards the end, crucial courtroom scene, where Tom Cruise, the lawyer, is haranguing and hectoring Jack Nicholson, who is the bad guy and one of the witnesses. And through this argument that they have in the courtroom, Tom Cruise says that he wants the truth, and then Jack Nicholson comes out with the famous now phrase, "You can't handle the truth." This could absolutely be said of the high priest and the council as they meet together to put Jesus on trial. They can't handle the truth. The one purpose for their gathering is to find a charge that will stick and will lead to a death sentence for Jesus. A death sentence ideally carried out by the Romans. False witnesses are found, but they're quickly discredited. In fact, they discredit themselves because their stories don't add up. Jesus' own words are twisted and distorted, but even then, the witnesses can't agree on what he actually said. And Jesus simply refuses to defend or incriminate himself, much to the fury of the chief priests and scribes. I suppose they're hoping that he'll say something that they can hang a charge on, that he'll give some sort of information that they can use in evidence against him. But he does nothing, he says nothing, until he is asked that specific question. Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed One? You've ridden into Jerusalem as King Jesus. We all saw that. You've caused havoc in the temple courts. Are you claiming some sort of messianic authority, Jesus? Is that what you're doing here? And Jesus says, I am. Now, just in him saying that, just in him claiming to be Messiah, that's enough to be seen as a threat to Roman power, because the Messiah is the anointed one. He's the one who is the rightful king of the Jews. That in itself is enough to be seen as a threat to Roman power in the region, or setting himself up as such a threat. But there is actually a greater and deeper truth. Not only is he the Christ, but he is, as he describes himself, the Son of Man, who will come at God's right hand in power and to judge. And the moment he says that, the high priest tears his robe, because what he has heard, he thinks, is blasphemy. And instantly, Jesus is condemned. They beat him, they spit on him, they taunt him and mock him and call out prophesy, which is ironic, because what they're doing to him right now in condemning him and beating him is itself a fulfillment of a prophecy he made in chapter 10, that he would be condemned, that he would be beaten, that he would be rejected. But of course, the thing is that blasphemy can't be blasphemy if it's true, if it's the truth. And of course, it is the truth. It's the truth they can't handle, that this is the Son of Man, this is the Messiah, this is the God-man. And the actual blasphemers in this courtroom scene are the ones who spit in the face of God. The question for us is, can you handle the truth of who Jesus really is? Because recognizing the truth of who he is, understanding who he really is, that he is Messiah, that he is the Son of God, that he is the one who gave himself for you, and who emptied himself for you, and who drank that cup to its dregs for you. Recognizing all of that, recognizing that truth, requires faith in him, requires us to put our complete and total faith in him, requires obedience to him out of love for him and for all that he's done for us, and requires our lives to be given as a sacrifice of worship and offering to him who gave his all for us. That's the response the truth demands. Will we give ourselves to him in responding to the truth of who he is? God bless.